In the grand, blood-soaked world of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, where Hashira clash with upper moons, and the fate of humanity hangs by a thread, viewers often celebrate the flashy, powerful leads. Tanjiro Kamado, Nezuko, Rengoku, Tengen Uzui, and the like dominate discussions, trending topics, and merchandise sales. However, in a recent turn of perspective, and perhaps a much overdue appreciation, a minor character has surfaced in the fandom's spotlight. No longer just a background presence or comedic relief, this individual is now being hailed as a surprise MVP. A hero in the shadows. As fans dissect the anime and manga arcs with renewed fervor following the breathtaking Mugen Castle arc, a growing consensus is emerging. Murata, a Demon Slayer core foot soldier, may have played a much more critical role in ensuring survival and progress than previously believed. Initially introduced during the Nadagumo Mountain arc, Murata came across as a timid, rule-abiding, and somewhat forgettable Demon Slayer who lacked the remarkable powers or backstories of his peers. But upon closer inspection, especially with hindsight after Season 4, it becomes increasingly clear that if Murata hadn't been in certain key moments, the worst outcomes might have befallen the main characters. Rewind to the Nadagumo Mountain arc. The Nadagumo Mountain arc remains one of the most chilling and brutal early arcs of Demon Slayer. Set in a cursed forest infested by the spider demon family, the arc showcased the desperate fight for survival by Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. While viewers were glued to the explosive battles and horrifying transformations, Murata quietly slipped into the storyline. Assigned to the same mission, Murata took on the task of defending injured demon slayers, fighting against the corpses reanimated by spider threads. It was Murata who, despite being outmatched, refused to abandon his comrades. While others panicked or died in agony, Murata held his ground. In fact, when Tanjiro and Inosuke charged deeper into the forest, it was Murata who ensured that backup was sent and casualties were minimized. If he hadn't been there, not only would more demon slayers have perished, but Tanjiro might have walked into Rui's web with no backup or awareness of the scale of the threat. Murata's reliability and silent courage helped maintain order in the chaos. A moral compass in the core. What makes Murata stand out isn't brute strength or any unique breathing technique. It's his heart, his discipline, and his resilience. Where others collapse in fear or become obsessed with power, Murata represents the everyday demon slayer, the average soldier who fights without fame, yet with unyielding loyalty. He is one of the rare characters who serves as a moral constant. Whether it's following proper command structure or risking his life for those weaker than him, Murata doesn't waver. During multiple missions, he's been spotted helping the injured, passing messages, and supporting team formations, all essential, unglamorous tasks that keep the core functioning. This makes him the unsung backbone of the organization, and in a war-torn reality where battles are often lost due to poor communication or disorder, his actions are far from minor. The Butterfly Mansion moment. In the anime's quieter interlude at the Butterfly Mansion, Murata appears again, not as a patient or hero, but as a facilitator. He ensures logistics, schedules, and discipline are maintained in the recovery wing. Fans now argue that the smooth recovery of the main trio, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, was in part due to Murata's efforts. It's often forgotten how thinly stretched the Hashira and their aides are. Without someone like Murata stepping in to manage smaller yet critical responsibilities, Shinobu and her team would have had little chance to recover or regroup for larger battles. Would the worst have happened if Murata hadn't been there? Possibly. One domino out of place, and the whole strategy collapses. Season 4 Rewatch. The Mugen Castle arc reveal. The most striking re-evaluation of Murata's importance comes in the Mugen Castle arc. While the spotlight remains fixed on the Hashira's death-defying combat against Muzen's forces, eagle-eyed fans noticed something crucial. Murata was there again, not in battle, but as the unseen hand ensuring vital messages were relayed, escape routes remained open, and fallen slayers were evacuated. It's in this arc that Murata reportedly intercepted orders, organized multiple small squads, and even bought time for Mitsuri Kanroji by holding off mid-level demons with only a handful of fighters. This feat, barely animated for dramatic focus, has exploded in fan communities. Some now argue that Kanroji wouldn't have reached her final opponent in time without Murata's delay tactics. Others point to Murata as the one who blocked reinforcements from ambushing Genya and Sanemi. The MVP meme that became canon. As with many internet phenomena, what started as a meme, Murata best boy, plot armor provided by Murata, has now snowballed into genuine admiration. Social media threads and fan art now showcase Murata in superhero poses. Doujinshi have reimagined him as a secret Hashira-level figure hiding in plain sight. A Change.org petition even demanded that creator Koyoharu Gotoge give Murata a spin-off. While no such announcement has been made, the demand speaks volumes about the shifting fandom perception. The recent Demon Slayer light novel, Demon Slayer: Core Chronicles, includes a chapter entirely dedicated to Murata's point of view, his internal monologue, fears, motivations, and the loneliness of being ordinary in a world of extraordinary warriors. The chapter was met with overwhelming praise and trended in Japan for 48 hours post-release. Symbol of the unsung, Murata has now come to represent something broader: the strength of the overlooked, the courage of the ordinary, and the necessity of quiet heroes. Tanjiro's sun-breathing, Nezuko's blood demon art, and Guillaume's stone technique are all spectacular, but Demon Slayer is a war story. And no war is won without its foot soldiers, its medics, its messengers. Murata is a symbol of those who rise to meet impossible odds, not because they're the strongest but because someone has to. Creators nod and voice actor spotlight. In an interview last year, voice actor Kengo Kawanishi, who plays Murata, spoke about how deeply connected he felt to the character. He said, "Greater than, Murata isn't flashy. He's not destined, but he's grounded, loyal, and kind. That's a kind of strength, too. I try to bring out his reliability, even when he's shaking in fear." Series creator Gotoge, known for their subtle emotional cues and intricate world-building, has previously mentioned that the side characters are the soul of Demon Slayer. While they haven't commented specifically on Murata, insiders believe his reappearances are deliberate. Fan events and merch explosion. In 2025, following the viral Murata MVP trend, Demon Slayer World Tour Live featured a surprise segment on Murata. A short animated skit showed him saving kittens, delivering supplies, and narrowly avoiding death while never once seeking recognition. Murata-themed merchandise is now among the top-selling items on Aniplex's online store. From Team Murata hoodies to just a helper. Think again. Mugs. Fans are showing their support. A recent poll on Anime Times Japan listed Murata as the #1-inch most underrated character who deserves more love, beating out even Shino Aburame from Naruto and Ryu Ishida from Bleach. Conclusion: a legacy beyond the sword. In a narrative filled with tragic heroes, bloodlines, and ancient powers, Murata's rise as an MVP is a refreshing and emotional reminder that heroism comes in many forms. Sometimes, the person who saves the day isn't the one wielding the sword, but the one who stands firm when others fall, who encourages when others despair, and who shows up when it matters most. So the question remains, would the worst have happened if he hadn't been there? Given everything we now know, the answer might very well be yes. And that, in a story as grand and heartbreaking as Demon Slayer, makes Murata nothing short of a hero. Maybe not the one we expected, but definitely the one we needed.